Do you ever feel like you are running to something or running from something? You ever feel that way? It's this like un it's an inability for you to be able to feel like you are ever settled. It's like you got to kind of overwork, overachieve, outwork someone. You ever feel that way? You ever feel like you're just consistently exhausted? I hear a lot of people that I work with always talk about this idea. Well, you don't understand. I got to outwork, outperform. You don't understand. The system is against me. People on my job are constantly looking at me a certain way. You don't understand. If you understood my work system, you would understand. And I'm just going to question that because what I know is nothing can stop you. Nothing. And I believe that you've bought into this idea that you've got to work this hard. And I'm going to venture to say, if you're anything like me, I bought into this idea that I had to do this based upon a story that I started to believe, right? I started to think that because I'm a woman of color, I do have to work that hard. I also understood that there was another villain at play. That villain was called my own trauma, right? And this trauma, these words, this harm that was done to me, and the words that I placed toward that trauma began to overtake me. And it was a narrative, a story that I would play over and over and over in my mind to the point where I began to believe it. I started to believe that what was going on inside of me drove me, and it was something that I was like, no one is ever going to get over on me. No one is ever going to take away what I have. Where in reality, that became the start of my problem because then I was constantly running from something. It's like I'm constantly going like this, constantly going, constantly having to work so hard. And that is never, ever going to allow you to win any race. That's a race that you will never, ever win. That's a race that will never, ever go away. And you are shadowboxing something. It says if you're constantly always, if you're in a boxing match, you're always on the ropes. You're never ever on the other side of that. You're never feeling like you're running to something because imagine this. Imagine if you're running a race, right? When you have these like strings that are pulling you back. They're constantly pulling you back. How hard would that be to run that race? And I just am going to ask you to surrender that. That is the work. That is the foundation that is not going to get you to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, ever. And what I'm going to take it a step further, because what I believe that when you're running from something, what you're really looking at is a foundation of ego. And you might be saying, why would she say that? Because ego is what's destroying you. Because it's this idea that you will not be taken down. And the ego is at the root of that. It says it wants to be seen, it wants to be heard, and it wants to be valued. And I'm going to demand that you do that. And when you use ego, as my friend Eckhart Tolle says in his book, which I love, The New Earth, I encourage you to pick this book up. What he says is that ego causes this thing called you to be clever, right? To be creative and ingenious. But what is this cleverness? And I wouldn't say it's ingenious, it's that clever means that you are developing a strategy that does not allow you to take advantage of your innate intelligence, right? To be clever is not necessarily to be intelligent, right? And then when you're running to something, you're going towards something, There's something inside of you that says, and I can go towards that without feeling like I'm running from something. There's a difference, right? So ego says, I'm going to be clever at going against the system. That's ego. But when you have this inside of you, this intelligence inside of you, where you know that you can just be who you are, you can run toward it with ease, with flow, with a sense of belonging and being in yourself. No one has to make you belong. You belong because you belong. You belong wherever you believe you belong, right? And believing you belong is simply because you know that deep within your heart. So I want us to really begin to analyze, why do I feel like I'm constantly running from something? Why do I feel like I'm constantly having to do extra work? What story have you begun to believe? What is that for you? Write that down. Analyze it. See what is at the root of that. And I'm going to venture to say that you will find out that you've begun to believe a story. You have bought into this idea that you have to do this. And the villain often is not a person, it's not a system, it's a belief, it's a way of looking at life. No person, no institution, no power that you see on the outside has relevance to the innate power and path that you're on. There is a purpose that you have deep within you. And there is work that only you can do. You were born in this generation to solve a problem. And you running from your own story, these things that happened to you years ago, and even these isms, these stories, these classifications, these what you would call microaggressions, they don't have anything to do with you. It's causing you to slow down. It's causing you to feel frustrated, angry. It has no relevance. And this is the work that we have got to get to. This is what we're going to be talking about on this platform to get you to a new way of living. For you as a corporate woman to be able to speak up, to be able to advocate for yourself with a sense of ease, with a sense of flow. There's no resistance. There's no strain. There's no overwhelm, overachieving. I know this all too well. The reason why I'm in your business like this is because it is my business. This is what I have done. I used my degree, my looks, my all these outward appearances to achieve something. I never began to take into consideration the ultimate intelligence that was deep inside of me. That was the reason why I was brought to this earth. I never considered that. I always thought that was just this woo-woo thing, where in reality, this is the law of your being. You have a code that's deep inside of you. You have an intelligence that's so superior to anything that could ever be built in this human experience. This is the inside work that we have to do in order to get us to the next level. You know that you have to achieve something, yes, but you don't have to do it with stress. You don't have to do it with fighting these battles that are not your battles. It's time for you to lay down those things that are not going to get you to the next level. It's the reason why you can't just show up boldly. You can't just show up just being yourself, because you don't know yourself. And you've been shadowboxing something for so long that it's become your identity. That's the reason why you feel like an imposter. That's the reason why you feel like you can't, when you get in front of someone and you know it's time to speak, that you don't speak. Yeah, okay, you took your chair, you put it at the table, you're in the room, but now what? But now what? And because when you're running from something and you always feel like something's against you, or you're constantly feeling marginalized, you're constantly feeling like, oh, everybody's saying these things, that's because your ego is taking over. And I hate to break it to you that it's no one else is going to come fix that but you. There's no other system, there's no other rule, there's no other law. Oh, sure, we can change those things, and we shall, except for they will melt away, and they will just get out of your path the more that you begin to focus on you and understand where your villain is, and get rid of any villain that's trying to take away. And that is right here. You have it within your heart, you have it within your mind, be able to do the work that we're going to be doing. And this is going to be our focus. This is the focus of the Rise Advocates Academy. This is the focus of our movement. This is the focus of our Rise with Dinah. The reason why we have the word rise is because we got to rise up from running from something and go toward what it is. Let all of those stories, all of those narratives, all of those horrible experiences that have happened to you, let them go. Do not own them. That is not yours to fight. It's causing you to slow down. It's causing you to stop. I want you to rise. I want you to see your way forward. This is our work. Pick up this book by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth. You will begin to see a new way forward. I promise you, this is our work. Tune in next time. We will be going live every single week. Every single week, we will be going live almost daily on this platform. I need you to get into this masterclass. I need you to see your way, new way forward. And I need you to believe that you have been given a unique gift. Let's take off all the things that are holding you back. Does this sound like a plan? Sound like things that we can do? I think so. So let's do it. Let's do this, my friends. Okay. If you have any questions, if you have any things that you need for me to be able to help you with, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about that. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Now I'm going to have to try and figure out how I can stop this live stream. I've never gone live before on YouTube. This is my first time. So I'm hoping that at some point we will have you guys coming in and sharing to ask questions. But this is my first live stream video on YouTube, and more will be coming. All right, let's stay connected. All right.